Welcome back to House Guest with me, Haley Lowe Fennell. I am a psychic medium, and this is the podcast that connects you to the other side. You are about to listen to another reading for a research project with College of Charleston and Dr. Beth Sundstrom and Dr. Melinda Rothaus. Thank you, Meghan, for being a part of it and for signing up. If you would like to be a part of the study and be on the podcast, all podcast readings are free, all study readings are free, then this is the place to listen to it, because the next time I announce openings, it will be right here on House Guest. You can also follow me at Haley Lowe Fennell on Instagram, or go to my website to find out more about events and things coming up at HaleyLoweFennell.com. But all podcast readings will be announced here. So please like, follow, subscribe, all the things. I hope that you guys enjoy. And Meghan, thank you so much for coming on. We connect in with two very important people. Well, one that she never met before, but two very important people from her life that help guide her now. And I hope that it resonates with you too. I say this sometimes in group readings, and I'm kind of feeling the urge to say it right now, so I'm going to. In group readings, or even right now, if you hear a message through any of this and you're thinking, gosh, like I wish I was in this reading, I wish those were things that Haley had said to me, your loved ones on the other side know that you're listening right now. And so these messages are just as much for you too. And you're welcome to, I think in this reading, I said a few times for her to kind of like take some time to interpret it on her own, which every reading is different, but maybe that was one of the readings that I said that quite a bit. And I think that that's just for you too. Like, take those messages that you hear throughout the day, whether they're from me or from other people. And as long as they're good, calm, neutral, and we can take the fear out of it, then bring those messages in for yourself and get to a good place where you can interpret them so that they feel supportive and loving, and then just go for it. Thank you guys. I hope that helps in any way. Welcome back to House Guest with me, Haley Lowe Fennell. I'm a psychic medium, and today we're doing another reading for the research project with College of Charleston and Dr. Beth Sundstrom and Dr. Melinda Rothaus. And I'm sitting here virtually with Meghan. Thank you for joining me.
Yes, happy to be here.
Thank you for being a part of the research. I am just going to give you a reading. It's going to be very similar, as much as I can say that, because every reading is extremely different, but it's going to be very similar to like any other reading that I would give virtually or in person. Some people ask me this, they're like, is there a difference between virtual or in person? On my end, there's not. Like, people show up on the other side just the same as if I were next to you or not. Like, they just kind of know that we're meeting virtually and they're like, cool, we're just
That's
energy. We can do
fascinating.
whatever. Yeah. So let's see. I'm going to close my eyes a lot. I'm going to lead us through a little breathing exercise. Do you have any other questions for me before we kind of jump in there?
No, I don't think
Okay,
so.
cool.
Ready? I'm open.
Okay, cool. And then feel free to take your own notes too. Every once in a while, something will come up and I'll say like, hey, write this down. Perfect. And I'll say this, it's like a funny thing, especially when you're on the podcast, because I'm very good at telling people that part. And sometimes I forget to tell people that part on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, like she'll get to listen to it later.
Yeah.
But then you won't have to like search through the podcast to find the thing that you're like,
Right.
like, I remember her saying this thing.
Right.
And then also sometimes like today is the end of February and this might not be released till like April. So then at least you
Okay.
have
Perfect.
so
I'm like, I need these answers. They're coming in April.
yes, they're coming in. Yes, and it's like you won't get to listen to it again until April.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, Meghan. I'm really excited. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say this to start off with, which I usually lovely good, lovely good. Like I feel someone coming in right away, but I'm gonna do our little like breathing exercise first. But I'm
Okay.
just gonna make a little note. Okay. So I'm gonna close my eyes. You can close your eyes too if you want, but you can also leave them open. It works either way, and it's just gonna be for a little bit. And just start taking a few really good deep breaths. And just start to imagine that we're meeting in a really big, wide open field. It's really bright and warm and sunny. And imagine us coming closer, close enough to talk. But then imagine that we're starting to talk without having to use our voices, that our souls are talking to one another. Then take a big, deep breath and just imagine your guides and anyone you know who has passed away and is on the other side coming forward. Imagine that no matter how long or short it's been since their passing, that they're there, that they have loving and supportive messages for you, that they see, hear, and know you currently, right now, from where they are. Then take a big deep breath. Just imagine them coming a little bit closer and a little bit closer. You might even start to feel them right next to you in the room with you. You might just feel a hint of their presence. They might even become one with you. Then take a big deep breath. And you can open your eyes when you want. I'm going to open mine. I do have to write some things down real quick. Okay. I usually don't get too much like auditory things. Every once in a while, kind of, sort of, occasionally. Okay, there we go. But whoever's on the other side wants to it's like literally giving me words.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I just have to write it down or else I'm going to forget it.
Yeah.
Okay. So this person that comes in right away, like even while we were just talking, like even a little bit before I started to press record, lovely good, they come in like right through my heart center, which usually means that I have a parent that's on the other side that wants to come through. Sometimes when it's this side of my body, it feels like dad that's on the other side. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
He is probably one of like the strongest parents I've had come through in a long time. And I'm not, anyone that's listening to this, I promise I'm not saying anything about your parent. It's just that like your dad is he wants to come across that way on purpose because his personality and how he wants to talk through me to you is very strong, is how it feels like. He's like, oh, I'm like her dad and I'm here. Are you okay if he comes in a little bit closer?
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
and connecting with him. I'm gonna jump to some of the things that he was audibly saying to me. And I'm gonna
Okay.
say this, there's some people that listen to this podcast because they're learning how to do it for themselves too, or like not even necessarily to be a psychic medium, but I truly believe that anybody and everybody can do what it is that I do. And so if you ever want to try this on your own, mediumship and connection comes through a feeling first. This is maybe a slightly new idea in mediumship. But it's this idea that we get a feeling first and then it comes into, for me, usually a visual, because I'm just a very visual person. I'm also just like a body talker, apparently, something I never knew about myself, but I like will do things with my hands. And if I notice that I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, they're like doing something on purpose for me. Or, so you might like kind of feel that same way. Your dad just kind of says she's actually like a little similar, like she might notice her body kind of doing something that might even feel like, oh, we're sitting like dad used to sit, or we're taking a deep breath like he used to take. He kind of gives me a little hints like that. He says two things right off the bat, though. He also tells me to get to the point. He's like, da, 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 get to the point. He says to lean in. This feels a little bit like a career thing that I'm talking about, where he's like, at one point when I was doing that, I almost like touched the mic on accident when my eyes were closed. He's like was making me do it. He also says, and I don't know what this means, and it might just be something to write down for later, but he says, cut the middle out or cut the middleman out, is what he says.
Okay.
And we can get into that more. It's not meant to be like a fearful message of like we're doing anything wrong. And if we don't cut this person out, it's going to go wrong. It's nothing like that. Lovely good. In fact, I think it has to do with something quite different. But I'm going to sink into that in a second. But what he does is he pats my heart again. So he wants to come in a little bit closer. And that's just so that I can get like a better connection with him. Okay, lovely good. He goes, we're going to start here. I'm really happy to be here, is what he says. And he like kind of gets shy on me actually a little bit. Like, hold on, I'm going to sink into that for a little bit while he's doing that with my shoulders. Fine, humbled. He says like, I'm humbled to be here. He comes across, okay, he does keep patting my heart as though that might have something to do with his passing as well, where he's like an arrhythmia or something along those lines. Does that make sense to you? And it's okay if it's a no. You're always welcome to say a maybe or a no.
No, not an arrhythmia. No,
Okay.
not like heart related. I mean, I don't think. No.
No, that's okay. A no is always perfect. Hold on. I'm going to sit into it while he keeps doing this. Let's see. I can, of course, I'm like, of course, I could interpret that as like, I love you, I love you, I love you. And he does mean that, but he does also point to this and jumps to something. I'm going to see what he means by that. Okay, lovely, good. He does make me take a deep breath again. Like, let's just take a deep breath. And he does want to relay that he is also on the other side. Lovely, good. Taking like a big deep breath. Okay. He's just kind of like a quick person for me, and I'm telling him to like slow down a little bit so that I can catch on, but I'm just gonna go with it for a second. He goes like this. I think he brings forward his father who's on the other side and says
Mhm.
like, here I'm with would be your grandfather on the other side. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Brings him forward. Okay, lovely, good. Okay, lovely, good. Do you also understand somebody else very close in the family that's with him on the other side? Like, he keeps kind of patting his heart, and I was like, "How am I supposed to interpret that?" And he's like, "Well, there's somebody else that you're like, that I want Megan to know that I'm with on the other side that would be close to his heart." And he makes me feel good saying that, and it's okay if you're like confused by that. I almost want to be like, I could kind of sort of imagine maybe there's grandma on the other side, but he just shows me dad right now.
Mhm.
And then if I move to this side, I'm like, okay, like, are you trying to get me to connect in with grandparents? He's like, that's for a little bit later. It's just how he puts it.
Yeah.
And then he brings in, hold on. Okay, hold on. Lovely, good. Oh, fine. There we go. He brings in someone really close. It's okay if it's not a family member. I think it actually would be, he brought up your mom but mom's still living, right?
Mhm.
Like mom's
Yeah.
here. And then I think what he brings up is mom's friend or quite possibly like best friend's mom. Does that make sense to you?
Best friend's mom.
I'm gonna write it with a question mark too.
Okay. Yeah, let's go question mark.
Or mom's best friend
I can
or
interpret
something.
that in a different way. My mom, her sister died when she was young.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So that's like a family member. I'm going to explain to you what this would be. Someone came across in a reading the other day and uh hold on. I'm just going to check in with him. That feels like that's who he's wanting to bring forward is like, look who else I'm with, this sort of person. And I know I'm doing something funny with my hands is because I like put people in different places. So like friends come in the gut for me. I know you
Yeah.
can't see me. I'm gonna do it real
Yeah.
quick. Like this. Friends come in the gut for me. And then family members tend to come at like an angle, like aunts and uncles tend to come at an angle. This can also oddly be a few other things to me too. So he goes like this, like I'm supposed to combine the information.
Okay.
And sometimes that can be like aunt, uncle that was like really, really close in the family. So I feel that. But then sometimes it can also be like mom's best friend or best friend of, he just kind of, if I were to mirror it to the side, he's like this energy. Anyways, I know that's like a long way of saying like, oh, okay, sister. Okay, lovely, fine. And he goes, look, I'm fine, lovely, good. He goes, so that's who I'm with too, and wants to let you know that. So I think we're going to connect in with mom's sister in a little bit, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Okay, she comes across as very sweet, I want to say. Just like she's like, let me give you one word to connect into later. Okay, hold on. There we go. Now dad's gonna like settle in a little bit more. Hmm. Lovely, good. I'm gonna ask you that in a little bit. Okay. I might just be quiet for a little bit. Okay. He's just coming a little bit closer. He just says, oh, fine. He goes, you can say that out loud. I'm kind of asking him to come closer. He's coming closer. Lovely, good. He says like, hey, hi, hello, I'm here. It's one of my ways of like knowing that they're coming in when they start just saying, hey, hi, hello, I'm here. Okay. Lovely, good. Okay. And then I'm just going to sit back for a second. Okay, Megan, do you understand this? He starts talking. It still feels as though he's talking from the other side. What they'll do for me is they're like, here's the place where I come and I've got messages, and then here's who I was in life. And he
Okay.
goes down here, and I keep asking him who he was in life just to give us like a little bit more information.
Yeah.
He kind of goes, I was a lot like how I am up here, is how he puts it. Like he becomes so embodied where he's like, I want the best for people. And he feels like okay, fine, lovely, good. But I know I'm getting like a little bit mixed up in some. Fine, there we go. He just says to go for it. So I'm going to go for it. He goes, I want the best for people, and I want people to feel really like close with themselves. Like I want people to feel good about themselves. And so I'm always like in life, when I was in life, it was just similar to what he could do from the other side too, is like I want people to feel good about themselves. So I'm going to kind of be fun around them and close with them and make sure that they're like laughing just enough. He doesn't come across as like the biggest jokester jokester in the world, but like a kind jokester,
Yeah.
if we could like imagine that. And he's like, and there's like a sweetness about me, but also like a humbleness. He keeps going like this to me. And then also like a way he would have looked at himself though, like not wanting to take any credit. He's like, well, don't give me any credit. Like that's all everybody else's plan. That's all they're doing. And I'm just around I'm glad that everybody like feels good. And I'm glad that people would see me that way, but I wouldn't have quite seen myself that way. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, totally.
Almost like if we were to tell him in life, like, I love you, I love you, I love you, he's like, wait, who, me? Like, why me sort of thing. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And he's
Very
like, but look, I'm here on the other side. And he's like, and I can just like see how much I was loved. And he's like, and thank you, thank you, thank you. He's like, I can also see that just like my light touches on people or my light actions are like, it's like those simple things that just were a part of his life and the way he was so gentle with people that really helped people. He's like, I can now see that I was one of the people that people would turn to and come to because it was really easy to just sit and talk with. Like, he goes, no judgment. He's like, we're like that on the other side. Like, sometimes it's even hard for us to imagine because we can say that we don't judge people, but there's nothing like not judging people when you get on the other side. They're like, there's just zero judgment there. He's like, I got to embody that in life, and like what a gift that was for me that I didn't even realize I had, is how he puts it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
He also keeps referencing, like, I think it's a man, it quite possibly might be outside of the family because it feels like it's within his generation, but like an important man to him that he helped a lot. Does that make sense to you?
Hmm.
It might have just been because of like their friendship or their closeness. It's like I
Okay.
helped him a lot just by like sitting and getting to talk with him.
Okay.
Your dad gives me a sense of your dad being like mentor to him, even though he's like similar age group, is how he
Okay.
puts it. This is similar age group. And that's okay if it doesn't make sense now. I keep asking him, like, is there any way you can make that more specific? And he just says to lay it out there. He's like, just lay it out there.
Okay.
But do you also, fine, love it, good. Do you also see him as being like a mentor towards many people, is how he puts it. He's like,
Yeah, he was.
like helped. But like in life, he would never have said that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
he's like, that's like, don't look at me as the example, is almost what he would have said in life.
Mhm.
Love it, good. Hold on. And then he just goes like this. He's going to come in a little bit closer. He's got some different things to say. Lovely, good. Hold on. Okay, lovely, good. And he just goes like, I'm sorry for not being there right now. But he's fine, lovely, good. There he goes. He goes, but I'm really extremely proud of you, especially when you have those moments of lean in. So he like kind of jumps to some of that information that came across earlier. And he goes, okay, Meghan, do you understand this? It's like almost like he wants me to like bump into my mic. He's like, this is what she's been doing. Like, she's been leaning in, to the point where she feels like she's about to fall. Does that make sense to you? Like, where we've been going for it and we're kind of like on the edge of having to go for it even more, that it might feel like you have to fall, but he kind of wants you to just go for it anyways. Does that make sense to you?
It could. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
It could.
okay. And I might ask you questions about that in a little bit. Actually, do you have any questions about that?
Um, no, I think it's like I could interpret it in so many different ways that if there were specifics, great. But if not,
Okay.
I love to also
I'm
just be like, this is what he's telling me, and I'm just gonna do
Yeah.
it.
Okay, well, so this is what I'm going to do. So your own intuition around what I'm saying is the most important. So definitely keep that in mind as I keep talking. So I'm like, hey, can you get more specific? He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I can get more specific. Some of that feels like career wise to me, but he also goes, we're also talking about life wise. This is fine. I'll do that. This
Okay.
is career wise. He's like, we're leaning in, but we're a little bit at a stopping point. Does that make sense to you? Like, we're
Yeah.
currently in break or we're at a stopping point. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
Perfect. And so then he goes, and then there's life wise leaning in and being, he calls it like tired, like feeling tired or exhausted or like, but it's like so filling our cup at the same time. Like, we love it. Does that make
Yeah.
sense to you? And he's like, leaning into that right now is perfect because, that lean in actually feels really, really good, even if it's slightly energetically or completely energetically exhausting. He's like, because when we get back to this thing, this is kind of career over here. When we get back to this thing, leaning into that is going to feel less like we're falling into it and more like we're just picking it up. Like there's nothing compared to, um, um, like the life lane over here. I could even be talking about like family, kids, that sort of thing when I'm talking about like the life lane. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Um, but if you in your head were like, I was interpreting that kind of differently, then that's totally fine too.
No, I
Um,
think I am at like a crossroads of like like our family has 35 projects going on all the time. Just
love
I
it.
never was going to be an entrepreneur, and now I'm like, what? I'm in this life of like we have so many things that we want to do. Um, so and that is like that's family related, that's career related, but also that career is kind of being sparked by a family related issue or
Oh,
concept or inspiration.
yeah.
So I think that's probably where it's
I
coming.
love it.
Yeah.
This is like, for some reason, because sometimes when you say crossroads, I was like, ooh, he wasn't like doing this for me. He was more doing this for me.
Yeah.
Like an opening up of the two, like they're meeting and then they open up. So just to give you like a feeling of like when you think of that, even, do you ever feel like, okay, so I've got this thing that's kind of intersecting with this thing. Do you just get like an opening feeling when you think of where it could go?
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
do.
So sometimes in the middle of reading, I'll get these little hints of like our yeses and our nos. And this is not an uncommon one. Like this can just be like a start of it. But it's not everybody's, just to let you know. So yours is like, and even if I were to put specific words, so it's like an opening.
Okay.
Like as long as we're going down these paths, and for the most part, it might not be every day, but for the most part, you're like, oh my gosh, like that's like opening me up to all of these different possibilities.
Yeah.
And you said these words earlier, but like that you never thought you were going to do.
Yeah.
But it still feels, you're like, gosh, like I never thought I was going to be this. It wasn't something that I even necessarily wanted, but all of a sudden here I am and I feel myself opening up. It's because you're feeling your soul like open up even more and more and more. And your dad just touches the back of my neck, which is always like, hey, tell Meghan that I'm guide for her in this thing. And so he's like, when you feel that opening feeling, that's also me coming through, is how he puts it. Like, we're going to do it. We're going to get into this together. Okay, fine. I'll say that. Okay. Then I'm going to ask you a more poignant question. He says, and we have to lean into it more though. Do you understand yourself? It's like we're going through the process of it feels fine, lovely, good. It feels beyond started for me though, because I was about to say, oh, we're going through the process of getting it started. He's like, it started. Like we're doing it, we're in it, we're leaning into it. But now there's this like kind of new project that might uh come up with it, and like we just have to go with it even more, like get into it even more. Does that make sense to you?
Okay. Yeah. We have two things happening kind of in parallel, and like mine has been sort of put on not the back burner, but like there's two things happening, and it's like it's
Yeah.
hard to know what to prioritize kind of, but
Yeah.
I think they're both really good things. I just need to do them.
And this is, and without me like knowing what they are, is it like if this is one and this is one, he goes like this, like
Okay.
melds them together. That might even be like we're meant to do them at the same time, or we're meant to
Okay.
like find a creative way that they happen in conjunction with each other or with each other, like they have to do with each other. Does that
Okay.
make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And maybe just something to like to think about, and when don't feel like you have to go down a rabbit hole to figure that piece of the information out. But when it does start to click and make sense, be like, okay, I'm just gonna like see what it's like to take fine, lovely, good. Take this one step further. And then all of a sudden he does, I was about to do something funny. Fine. I was about to jump to sister or quite possibly grandma. But do you understand this funny part? And it's not meant in a dire way, but the cut the man out of the middle, or cut the middle man out, or cut the middle out even. Like I could take the man part out of it. Cut the
Oh,
middle out. Does that make sense to you?
no, I don't think so.
Okay. Sometimes I love nose in readings, and that's going to sound really strange to you, to people listening. But especially it like has lit me up a little bit. So I know that I'm just meant to say it, and it
Yeah.
will be one of those things that makes sense later. Don't again like feel like you have to go down a rabbit hole with it, but when you find the opportunity to be like, wait, I could just do that myself,
Mhm.
I don't necessarily need that middle person. Lovely, good. That feels good. Yeah. He's just like, yeah.
Okay.
I just got like I'm gonna try to explain. Fine. He goes like this. It was like like he took the energy out of me, but in a good way, because that's all he wants me to say about it. I'm like, yep, she said exactly what I wanted her to say. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And like for fun, lovely, good. Lovely, good. He really wanted me to say that part too. For fun. Keep that in mind for fun. So like when it comes up, like, oh yeah, I can do this myself and it's for fun.
Okay.
And I don't need to like add in another person right now. Other areas maybe, but you'll know. Fine. Lovely, good. Fine. He says you'll know when you see it. You'll know when you feel it. Okay. Lovely, good. Do you have any questions for Dad?
Gosh. That's a good question. Not specifically. I mean, I think like he knows we talk to him all the time. He knows we talk to our kids all the time about him. And like I think he knows. Like so many people know enough about him, even though he's been gone for so long. I think just like passing on what we want to about him.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just like he feels incredibly present in your life. And I just want to say, like, I know and I feel that you like connect in with him in your own ways as well. And it just feels really, really good. Yeah. I love that. Okay, hold on. Okay, fine. Sometimes when I get certain people from the other side, it doesn't necessarily have to be parents, but they'll show me their like sunshiny face and then them turning up towards the sun. I had someone sitting with me yesterday whose parent relates to them that way. So if you ever just feel yourself like turning up towards the sun, being warmed by the sun, it's like just know that your dad's like guiding you, like he's just kind of showing you. He says positive attitude, like he was like
Yep.
I was wanted to switch people's attitude around. That's what
Yep.
I'm there for, is how he puts it. Like we'll do a quick little switch. Lovely, good. He also goes like, I want Megan. Mm. I want Megan to be like her own best friend again, is what he says. Like, there's been times in your life where you've been like your own cheerleader and been really, really good at it. And he's like, just letting you know that he's stepping in for that. And he's like, I'm going to help you get back to that spot again because you deserve it. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to connect in with, okay, fine. I'll say that. Who I feel like I have with me on the other side is mom's mom. Does that make sense to you? It's okay if it doesn't. If you're like,
No,
she's
it wouldn't be
still
mom's mom.
around.
Yeah, she's
Okay,
still here.
perfect. Love to hear that. I'm going to catch on to this then. Fine. Did you ever get to know your great grandmother?
Yep.
Okay. For sometime, did I? Oh, I just had the moment if maybe I did. Maybe when I was like super young. Sometimes great grandmothers and grandmothers is just a similar feeling, like
Yeah.
especially when we got to know them a little bit, maybe even in around the age of 4. She says like, she
Yeah.
keeps giving me a 4.
Yeah.
That's one of those examples from when I was saying earlier, like I just noticed that I know it's off screen, but I was like, oh, what am I doing here? Like, there's something funny. I'm not just like, this is
Yeah.
like energy coming in usually, and this is something quite more specific.
Yeah.
Okay, so she feels there, just to let you know, and it's with mom's sister, so your aunt. And I understood that you would never have met your aunt, but she comes in quite sweet, just to let you know. Like, she says like candy is how she puts it. I'm just a fan. She puts like a grape Jolly Rancher in my mouth. And I'm not sure why. I can't even imagine why, but I'm just
Okay.
gonna tell you. Love it. Good, good, good. Okay. She calls herself like a spark of energy that's around you. And she's like, I've been around you since you were born,
Okay.
and have been one of your guides since you were born. Lovely, good. Hold on. She's going to come in like a lot stronger. Okay, lovely. There she goes. She even starts to say something as like people would kind of maybe even imagine me as slightly fairy-like or like little is how she puts it. Like,
Okay.
she calls herself, oh, what's that word? Hold on. I like that. Okay, lovely, good. Yeah, I don't know. She calls herself like a pixie.
Okay.
She doesn't mean literally, but there's like a little bit of like of an energy that I can imagine around that word where it
Hmm.
comes in so like soft and sweet, but quite vibrant at the same time. That's how she
Hmm.
puts it. Okay, lovely, good. Okay, fine. Hold on. I'm just gonna take a second. Okay, fine. Lovely, good. I'm having a little bit of a hard time interpreting this part, but I'm just gonna say what it feels like to me. She gives
Okay.
me like a little bit of like a pink aura. is how she puts it, which
Okay.
is some of the words that I've already like used around her, is what that would mean to me. But then she kind of drops that into life too, like something with the color pink is how she puts it. And then she goes, lovely, good. She also goes, I want to let people know that, like, of course I'm okay on the other side, but there's also a feeling of like people already know that, like they can understand that I'm okay on the other side. But she does call her passing quite traumatic, is how she puts it. She's like, she calls it sudden and unexpected. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And she's like, so I was here and then I'm not. And she's like, I am sorry for that, with a complete knowing of she had no control over it either. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And she just says, like, I'm sorry that I didn't have control over it. But also, fine, lovely, good. And also a sense of like knowing that she doesn't have to say sorry, too. She's like, that's not quite the right words. People feel what that means when I say it. I know that. She's like, but it's like as close to being like, I'm sorry, but I also know that like I don't have to be sorry, sort of thing.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, lovely, good, good, good. She's like a big hug to her mom and your mom. Of course, of course, of course. Okay. So she also knows that she's not all that often talked about, and she says that it's okay. She's like, it's people don't have to like talk about me to remember me, is how she puts it. She does understand there being some pictures of her that it could be your mom, it could be your grandmom that like every once in a while someone looks at. It kind of feels like it's in a book. She's having me like look in a book. And like without having to say words, get to remember her. Does that make sense? Lovely. Good, good, good. Okay, fine. I'll say that. Something with pink little ribbons or little ribbons is how she puts it. And the way she makes me imagine that is that there's also something, it's not necessarily in her memory, but it's something that people did after her passing, I think to help with like mom's grief, family's grief, like an organization that would have come in or something that would have been done to help with like awareness around how she passed or just help with the grieving process, and something with little pink bows is how she puts it. Okay, lovely, good. And then she goes like, I'll always be sister to mom. Like I'll always be sister to mom. Do you have any? Oh, fine. Do you understand something with her heart and her passing? And that's
No.
okay if it's a no. No
No.
worries. No worries, no worries, no worries. Fine, I'll say that out loud. Sometimes I'll get something like new in readings, and I might like, and this is just for anyone else that's listening, that's like, ooh, that's like come up twice now and it hasn't quite been right. And I'm totally okay with that. Well, fine. I'm totally okay with that ish. I will for sure be thinking about it later, be like, ooh, like what information did I get quite off? And if it comes to me, I'll just let you know. Does that sound
Mhm.
good?
Yeah.
I'll let everyone else know too, of course. I'll just like hop on the recording. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Do you have any questions for her?
I guess if there were any messages to give my mom or
Mm.
how she has I have gotten comments that we see her in my one of my daughter, and so I think
Oh,
that's
I
something
love
that I would
that.
love to pass on to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandma said that she reminds me of my daughter. So,
I love that. Oh, I love that. That's so, and sometimes it's just like trusting that, right? Like
mhm.
your grandma having the intuition around that and like a knowing. That's like when I'm saying like everybody can do exactly what it is that I do. We're doing it without even knowing it. When somebody reminds us of somebody else and it's a little bit unexplainable, there's just something to it.
Yeah.
And there's like many different ways to work with that energy and like I think I would call it like a reminder energy. Like it just clicks into place at the right time. Okay, fine. I'm going to ask you that. Do you even see your daughter as somewhat like fairy like or pixie like just kind of like light on her toes and has like you might even like notice a lot of like light on her sort of thing?
Um, yes, I mean, we call her a goldfish because it's just like she just is very light and forgetful and whatever. But she also, I think the thing that is what's coming through with that sister that passed is just like that vibrancy that like they're sweet,
Yeah.
but they're a little chaotic. Like I think that's where we're getting that personality trait.
I love it. And just like the more you trust it and yeah, like let that sink in. It's like I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think your aunt loves it too. Like, that's me. I get to like be remembered in more than just like these pictures in a book. Like,
Yeah.
right, I get to be remembered like through a physical being that is like bringing up memories for mom, bringing up memories for grandma. Um, yeah, I think that's perfect. I'm not sure if I even answered your question, but does that make sense?
I don't get that, but that's something like maybe my mom or my grandma would resonate, like something would resonate with them. But again, since I didn't know her very much, I've heard
Yeah.
stories, but and we look through pictures, but that
Yeah.
would be the
Yeah.
extent of that. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a funny question around it. Do you have a picture of her by any chance? And maybe she passed away before this. I'm not sure. I keep going back and forth in my mind, but there's like maybe around the age of 16, because they keep giving me a picture of her like in a car, like leaning out the window. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, she died in a car crash.
Oh, okay. So that's
Yeah.
the leaning
And she
out.
was
And
in her I can't remember if it was late teens or early 20s, but it was around that time. Yeah.
okay. And I think that's just her trying to like give it to me in the most gentle of ways.
Yeah.
This is it. Um, but if you do ever come across like an actual picture too of her being like happy in a car, find lovely good. There we go.
Yeah.
She's like, I bring this up also on purpose, like for more than just that reason. Cause she goes, fine, lovely, good, good, good. Cause she goes, there's also like these happier moments of me. And when we're trying to connect into the other side, sometimes the first thing we do is we think of their passing, and it's
Right.
totally normal and natural. I do it too. And it's totally okay to remember that. But then when we get past that a little bit and we get into the other memories that are around them, then we get to really like connect in with them. To be clear, we can connect in with them either way, but when we want messages from them is when we connect into those earlier memories, or those more even good, calm, neutral memories are great too. Just like, oh yeah, this was like a place that she liked to go. This is a place that dad liked to take us to.
Yeah.
Dad just brings up ice cream for some reason. And he's like, there's like these neutral memories. And so when you remember those, that's a great way to connect in as well. He says mint chocolate chip. I'm just going to let you know that.
Okay.
That's from your dad.
That's from my dad. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Megan. I
Yeah.
really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
That was
Do you have
so
any other
fascinating.
questions for me?
I think just always love connecting with my dad and love like hearing from him. He was such a positive light. And something interesting just for you too, how you were saying like, oh, sometimes you always think about the passing or like how that happened. But my dad was always, he just didn't want to be remembered for how he was passing or how he passed. He was like, that's, 1 minute of my life. Like I wanted to be
Yeah.
remembered for all of the other things. And so we rarely talk about that and like how he passed or why he passed and all of that. It's just talk about the other
I
things.
love it.
That message is really great.
I love it. Like you guys are already just naturally doing it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I know we mentioned like a vibrant pink for aunt. I'm
Yeah.
going to mention like a minty green for dad for whatever
Okay.
reason. He just says to say it out loud. Um, and like almost like a glowing one. So like if you just as like a, who knows? I keep trying whenever I find myself stumbling over words, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna say it. That's all I need to say, sort of thing.
I love the
And we'll
color thing.
okay, good. And it's like
Yeah.
more important that you get to interpret that later than me trying to interpret it now.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Megan, I
yeah.
really appreciate you being like a part of the study,
Oh yeah.
and doing this. And uh, yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out via email.
Okay. I will do
Yeah.
that. Thank you so much, Haley. This was awesome. I loved it.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to this episode of House Guest. Thank you, Megan, for letting me read for you and for being a part of this research project with College of Charleston. And please like, subscribe, follow, send to a friend. The first person that pops in your head might even be the person that needs it most. So thank you guys so, so much for all of your support. And I hope that you were able to get some messages out of this reading for yourself too.